Amen to that. All right. My subject tonight is family. Family. And today I went to go see War Room. My husband called. He said, "Don't you think you should go see the movie since you're going to have to speak tonight?" I said, "You know what, I am." But at first, when God, I don't know about anybody else, but when God began to deal with me with things, I don't like anything interfering with what he's going to say to me or how he's going to use me or what he's going to have to proceed out of my mouth. But I woke up this morning, it was on my heart. I said, "You know what, I'm going to go see it." And I left there and I was so inspired in seeing it because I thought about lately I had been really going through, and because I had 3 spiritual mothers in my life, my 2 grandmothers and my mother, and the Lord took them all. They all gone on to be with him. But then when I walked out of there, I know people was thinking I was crazy because I cried all the way to my vehicle. And I was crying and praying and going in because it was that moment that I realized that they all prepared me for this time right now, that I had to pick up the mantle of those 3 spiritual women. They were women of war. They were prayer warriors, and they were women of prayer. And I realized at that moment that I had to pick up the mantle, that they were all preparing me to be a mother, a woman with a family. And I didn't understand it coming along in life. Even my father, he would have me to cook and clean. And he said, "I'm raising you to be a wife." And I was thinking, I'm not going to be no wife, because back then I had my little short do, and you know, I was looking like this and that. And I was like, no, I ain't turning all this over to no family. And so, but God saw fit. So now, like the lady said, you got to towel that down, you know. So I had children. God gave me a family. But before that, he gave me 3 spiritual women that trained me to defend in prayer my family. And so in talking about family, family actually is all the descendants of one common ancestor. Now, one common ancestor is God. Yeah. And so if you don't believe me, Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them." And so God created us in his image. That means that we're creators, that we can speak a word and it happened. Anything that God spoke, it happened. He said, "Let there be light." And what did it say? There was light. And so he created us as creators, and that we're able to make things happen. Mm-hmm. And when I think about my family, I remember one time I was reading on the internet, and I got really sad in my heart how these one young ladies, they were going to prison. And I just started reading them and going down the line and reading one woman after another were going to prison because they were in abusive situations. And at first, you know, my heart was really going out for them because I was like, you know, they're stuck in this abuse and things are happening. They're throwing them in jail. But then I went and read this one part that the courts only looked at. They have a blind eye. You know, the judicial system, it has a blind eye. And it said because they should have put their life on the line. Even if it cost them their life, they had vowed to save those kids. And so if they lost their children, they went to jail, because if they allowed it or took them there or continued in it, all the court saw was that they had the obligation to save those children's life no matter what. And so that's the same thing about our families, especially as women. We have the power of prayer within us. We have the ability to go to God and pray about some things and go to God about some things, you know, that we just have some type of favor with God. He said that we will bruise the heel of the enemy. So there's something powerful about a woman that knows how to go to God. And so when I think about that, by any means necessary will I defend my family. And so when the enemy comes after my family, I have to realize that I got to go in that war room. I got to have a place where I can pray. I got to have a place where I can seek God's face so that I can save my family. This sister here said, I did what I had to do, I imagine, so that you could save your family, because you didn't want that generational curse continuing on and on and on and on, and you know that. So I didn't want to really go down this road at first, because when I looked at the subjects, there is one thing that's so important to having a family, and that is relationship. You have to have a relationship with God. God finds relationships so important that everything must come together. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there will I be in the midst. That's how much he values relationship. So looking at relationship, it takes a man and a woman to create a child. It takes water and wind to create a storm. There takes a positive and a negative to create power. And there take faith and works to move God. So there is something powerful in having a relationship. And when you look at relationship and you break it down, it says Re is to establish again. When you think of relate, it's to identify. When you think of relations, it's to become intimate. And you think of a ship, it's a vessel that carries that thing. So I want to encourage you tonight that when the enemy come after your family, I want you to reestablish yourself in God. I want you to relate and identify what he's called you to do in your purpose. I want you to go back into relationship with him, to have relations with him, and go back in prayer and seek his face. And then I want you to be the ship, the vessel that carries the anointing of God. And so don't forget that you have power as a woman. You are a woman of work. God has called you just like Esther for such a time as this. And so I want you to take that authority that God has given you, and I want you to take that thing, and I want you to go forth in what it is that God has called you to do. I want you to understand that he's giving you passion. Yes, he has. He's giving you purpose. He's giving you relationship. All these things that God has called these women of work to this pulpit to talk about on tonight, he's giving you that for such a time as this. Go forth in boldness. Defend your family at all costs. Find you a war room. Get in his face. Don't be afraid, because God says, greater is he that's within you than he that's in the world. And there is no power greater than the power of God. And when he's for you, he is more than the world against you.